Hi, it's Matt from Music World. Today I'm going to be reviewing some Pearl snare drums. First off, we have the Hybrid Exotic snare drum. This is a brand new snare drum actually to Pearl because there's some new technology in these tension rods that Pearl has come up with. They're called the spin-tight tension rods. In fact, they're one of the first companies to do this, and I'll show you more about that in a second, but let's talk about the shell first. It's a Capura and fiberglass hybrid. That's why we call it a Hybrid Exotic. The Capura is known for its low-end frequencies. It's going to have a little more oomph to the punch in the low end on this particular snare drum, and then you get some more cut out of the snare drum as well. So you get a really good balance of punch and cut. So you get a nice crack out of it, but it's still going to have a woody crack. It's not going to be too ringy like a metal snare drum is going to have. It has Pearl's throw-off system on it, and it also comes with a unique Pearl drum key that is proprietary that you have to actually tune this snare drum. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you one little shot of this particular tension rod and how it works. This is the new Pearl spin-tight tension rod. What's unique about this is it has, if you can see, a little hex head rod that goes down the shaft of this tension rod. And the reason they designed this is for being able to lock in your snare drum's tuning all the way around the drum head, whereas there's been other devices that you can use to try and lock it in with nylon washers and plates and such. They usually end up failing. What's cool about this is there's a special key you use and you slide it over the top. There's a little hex head that is controlled by this knob on the key. As you tighten it, as you can see at the end of this shaft here, it starts to slide down and it opens up the split shaft at the end. This is going to cause the threads to bite down in the snare drum naturally by pressure rather than trying to use some type of thread lock or whatever. So for those real heavy hitters who are always having to retune their snare drums and the tension rods are coming out, this is going to be the perfect solution for people like that. And if you just flat out like to keep it in tune and you want to try and have your tension rods stay in one position as long as possible, this is going to be the ticket. It's a really cool, neat little invention. This drum key comes with this particular snare drum, and I'll show you how it's going to go on real quick here. Just thread it in like a traditional tension rod into the lug insert here. And one thing you have to make sure is that the hex head is loose. That allows the shaft to be at normal length, so it'll slide right in. And then you just tighten it down. I already have the rest of these all in tune, so I'm going to just go back by feel on this one. And then when you're done and it's set, you just tighten that little hex head at the top, which helps open that shaft up in there, and now it's locked in. And that's the new spin-tight tension rod. Next is the premium beaded brass Sensitone snare drum by Pearl. This one is an awesome snare drum. It's one of my favorites because it's just got such an amazing sound to it. This particular one I have for the review is actually a 6.5 by 14. They come in a couple different sizes as well, but it has a lot of punch to it. It's a low end, just beefy snare drum, but you can tune it up and it's got crack to it because it's a metal snare drum as well. It has a really cool new finish on it. It has almost like an acid wash brass look to it. That's kind of what the unfinished brass look is. It's a kind of a satiny finish. It has a Gladstone style throw off on it, which is pretty cool. It's nice and smooth. And like I said, this one is a 6.5 inch by 14. This would be a great main snare drum. It's got a lot of warmth still for a metal snare drum, which usually you just get a lot more crack and a lot more ring, but this has a lot of warmth to it. It also has these new lugs. These new lugs are kind of a tube lug style, but they have kind of a little curvature to them at each end. Kind of has a little more flair to it. Very classy looking. It has the steel flange hoops on here. It's the Super Hoops 2. So that is the Pearl Premium Beaded Brass Snare Drum. last, we're going to review the Pearl Piccolo. This is a 13 by 3. This isn't anything new, but it is a classic piccolo for those who want a cracky, tight snare drum sound. This is the one to have. It sounds awesome. You still get some of that warmth from the wood shell, but maple has good crack to it, so it's the perfect choice for having a piccolo snare. It has an 8-lug on it as well, and it's a normal plain maple finish on it, very classic looking.